The trust first got going in the late 90s, so we're coming up to our 10th birthday. And the reason for it was that the Stonehouse area of Plymouth was suffering from high levels of unemployment and all the consequences of that. So the trust was set up as a direct response to that, to try and provide employment, to try and provide local economic activity. So that's what the trust does. It tries to provide a platform for small and medium-sized enterprises to come in, to grow, to develop, and be the engine for renewal of the community. So that's the reason for the trust being started. The Millfield site is the former Royal Naval Hospital site, and in the mid-90s, the Navy moved out and the site became vacant. At that time, it was taken on by some developers who then split up a lot of the freeholds and which were purchased separately. And at that time, the City Council, working with a fledgling Millfields Trust, was able to acquire some space on the Millfield site, including a bomb-damaged building and some ground which was cleared to make way for some new buildings. It's a great story, really, because it was bombed in 1942 and left more or less derelict for 60 years. So when the trust managed to get hold of it, it had 60 years of undergrowth. It had no windows at the time, the building had splayed, so there was an awful lot of work to do to bring it back into being. And that began in '99, and it took about a 9-month period to bring it back into building. But in doing so, it's restored one of the last bomb-damaged buildings left in this country, to its former glory. So I think now it's probably the best example of one of the original blocks of the hospital remaining on the Millfields. Well, the trust uses its income from the letting of business units in order to sustain itself, to cover the core costs, but to reinvest that back into the community. That's really important, is that we reinvest our surpluses back into our community. So the bigger the asset base that we've got, the more money we can generate simply, the more money we can put back into our community and support work like we are doing with our local schools. So our plans are to continue to grow our asset base, to continue to generate income through whatever means that are going to be ethical and are going to also support business at the same time. So we want to further develop business space, and the current HQ site offers the opportunity for us to look at how we can make the site work harder. So can we upgrade the building? Can we make the current site, the car park, the frontage, work harder to provide a range of services that will not only support the Millfields Trust in its core, but also offer key services to our community, at the same time enable us to generate an income which we can again use to reinvest to support the community. We have a complete range of tenants in here, from everyone from people selling futons online, to tenants doing video production, to tenants offering accountancy services, specialist engineers, through to builders, a complete range of services. And that's one of the things that makes the business park successful, is that tenants trade with each other, tenants use each other's services.
Basically, we're a mail order internet-based company where we supply futon sofa beds to people throughout the UK and into Ireland as well. We've been established now for about 8 years, and we've been a tenant of the Millfields Trust here for about 5 or 6 years now. I mean, I very much enjoy being a tenant of the Millfields here because it's a very friendly environment for us to exist in as a small business. So we have every intention of staying, within these premises. We find that the flexibility of the Millfields and the quality of the accommodation suits our purpose absolutely fine.
I think the whole concept of the way the Millfields operates is very good. It gives us good value. It's good for the community. It's got a lot of strong points to it. Primarily from a business point of view, I have to say it's about the bottom line with the business. But the knock-on effect is that we are able to employ people and develop people and train people for long term. So it's important.
We want to provide a good home for tenants. So we try to look after their premises so they don't have to worry about it. They can concentrate on running their business. That's first and foremost. And then on top of that, we offer a range of support in terms of the length of the leases. Tenants aren't tied into long-term leases here. And then we provide support through our staff to try and link tenants to local suppliers. And then we link tenants to other tenants and to support services, a range of support services. And we have things such as tenant breakfast, tenant lunches, where we bring in specialist support and speakers to help and support companies as and when they need it. The Millfields Trust has been trading for 11 years. In that time it has grown from an initial turnover of 70,000 to over £500,000 a year, and from managing 22 businesses in 1999 to over 100 today. In each year of operation, the Trust has made a trading profit and has acquired assets to the value of £2.5 million. Success has partly been based on consistency, with many directors and staff having served the Trust from day one. Knowledge, skills and experience are shared across the company, contributing to a robust and proactive management. Growth has been planned and managed. The challenges the Trusts face are those associated with growing the business, finding capital to finance new buildings, and ensuring that the benefits and success of the Trust are felt by all residents of Stonehouse. You know, we've had tenants who started here. We had a tenant who started with us while they were at university, studying at university. To begin with, they took a small unit, then they grew to a larger unit, and finally they grew too big for us, and they moved out, and they've moved to the Tamar Science Park, where they now run a successful business. So the idea of the Trust is that we give people a start, we enable them to grow, and in growing that they hopefully stay within Plymouth and continue to contribute to the economy of Plymouth.